Hey everyone. I know people ask you guys this question, ask each other this question, but I think it's true. And that question I have for you is if you would have told me last year at this time that I would have not one, not two, but three Blu-rays, one of them being part of the PS4, I don't think I would have believed you. And I don't think anybody else watching this would have believed you. If you would say, well, you'd probably have one, maybe two Blu-ray players at most, that might be believable. That might be somewhat believable. But if you would have said, well, you'll probably get a Blu-ray player finally, and you'll probably go and get some Blu-rays and everything and be all right to start off. And as time and years go on, you'll get more. And if you would have said that, that is more realistic. Because you see, my goal for quite some time up till last year was to get a Blu-ray player in this household. And this is even before I got hired. But thank the Lord above, I did get a job. Not only did I get a job, but I got a job back with the job I had left when I moved out here 7 years before. Or at the time, 6.5 years before, now 7.5 years. I got a job with the same company. So again, if you would have told me, oh, you're going to probably have a Blu-ray player, maybe three Blu-ray players, like I said, one being the PS4. If you would have told me that, again, I probably wouldn't have believed you and no one else would. But if you would have told me that the moment I got a job, then it becomes more believable. Because it's hard to believe that it's almost been 1 year. Well, when you think about it, it's been about a year now, going on it. Because it'll be a year this upcoming week, in the upcoming first week of February, that I obtained a Blu-ray player in this early portion of the year. That was one of the main goals I had. One of the main goals I had. And I obtained it. I got it to happen. But if you would have said that within a year's time that I would amass such an impressive collection of Blu-rays between me, my mom, and the both of us entirely, for the family as a whole, I don't think anybody would have believed that could happen, but guess what? It did. It did happen. Now, I know a lot of people will say that, I know a lot of people would say that getting Blu-rays is harder than it looks, because they're not as cheap as DVDs or VHSs were or whatever. Sometimes Blu-rays cost more, and that is true. But as we have noticed in the 7-year existence of Blu-rays, that just like DVDs and VHSs before them, they have gone down in price, depending on how long said Blu-ray of said movie or show or program has been out. So they've gone down in price, which is surprising, especially when you look at something like Black Friday. But again, if someone would have told you that I was going to have a Blu-ray player, by the end of, that I would have three Blu-ray players, again, one of them being the PS4, or being part of the PS4, no one probably would have believed you. If you would have told that to my family, they wouldn't have believed you. But guess what? That's exactly what happened. Now, I'm not saying it was back to back to back to back. No, it happened basically like during each portion of the year. It happened during the beginning of the year, in the middle part of the year, and at the end of the year. The beginning part of the year when it came to Blu-rays, came to this one. This Blu-ray player was the first one we had obtained. That was the first one. And it's because of the fact that we had obtained this previously, so we needed something that matched up with it. Now, of course, as we got later on in the year into the summer, I started realizing that as much as I'm buying Blu-rays, not just for myself and for my mom, that I need time, especially I need something to enjoy them on myself. So, lo and behold, come summer of last year, I ended up getting my own Blu-ray. Now you might look at the TV and say that's not capable of doing it. It is capable when you have this and then that. That makes it capable. That makes it possible when one thinks about it. And then, to top it all off, we'll go back in there because I don't know why I left it in the first place. To top it all off, at the end of the year, I obtained that. So within, like I said, within 3 main parts of the year, 3 seasonal parts of the year, Blu-ray player, Blu-ray player, Blu-ray player. Now, does that mean the Blu-ray players are over here? Maybe not, because there's still rooms around here that could probably use them, but it all depends on what happens. See, one of my initial plans is to try to probably get an HD TV in there, in my room. But the thing is, how I position it and set it up with the with the Blu-ray player and all that is an entirely different story. In the cable box, entirely different story, but we might be able to work something out. But again, like I said, that's the only thing. And looking at the thing here, yeah, it might work if I was to do it. But again, it all depends on how we work things out. But like I said, if you would have told me, and I know I sound like a broken record, but if you would have told me and anybody around me that these 3 Blu-ray players, if you will, would be in this household, no one would have believed you. No one. And if they would have told you that I would have a Blu-ray collection, me and my mom together would have a Blu-ray collection that would probably rival first-year Blu-ray owners, no one would have believed you either. Because you see, my family is not the kind of family that goes out and just splurges like crazy. But when we do, we do. But with that said, within a year's time and still growing, these Blu-rays here that you see before you, with the exception of Charlie Brown, that is, but these Blu-rays before you, like I said, with the exception of Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, are basically some of the first ones we got. And except for the Hunger Games, that's DVD, but that and its sequel, but we do have its sequel and we do have the original now on Blu-ray as well, so we have both on Blu-ray. But then we have this, and then we have these 2 right here. Now you might say, oh, well, that's impressive for a first year. Folks, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. Because if you look over here, the impressiveness continues, especially on top. and get on top there. Well, right in the middle, basically. Anything with the Blu-ray logo. And then if you look in the back, same thing. Except for the two on the bottom. But again, you might say, impressive collection. It doesn't end there. It does not end there. Look at this. I'm sorry about that, but look at this. And he did. Only the ones with the Blu-ray logo. I had to pick those up a little bit, sorry about that. But like I said, this goes with the Blu-ray.